Love is the basic need of human nature. Without it, life is disrupted emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. We search for this profound desire because humans are hardwired for social connection. At the heart of human interaction is the goal of finding love with one another and ultimately sharing life together. Over the years, the way of attaining that goal has changed based on cultural customs, what's going on in the world, and our overall understanding of love and marriage. Today, the all-important first date brings pressures of who is going to pay, how to keep the conversation going, and whether or not a kiss will be shared at the end of the night. However, this classic first date has never truly had one standard or expectation due to the ever-evolving culture surrounding it. In the grand scheme of civilization, dating is actually a pretty recent phenomenon. As history shows, dating didn't really exist before the 19th century, at least not in the United States. Back then, many marriages were arranged by parents with the intent of finding their child a spouse that could physically help in maintaining the family home and support a comfortable lifestyle. If lucky, a father could find his oldest daughter, a man of high social class with financial security to ensure a happy life for the two. As times progressed, arranged marriages became frowned upon, and dates became initiated by the men. In the early 1900s, a gentleman caller would come to the girl's house for a heavily chaperoned evening in which the couple would talk and discuss similar interests. This would occur multiple times before ever being left alone and continue on until a mutual interest was reached and a marriage proposal was offered. Around the 1920s, the automobile was invented and widely consumed to the American public. Young people now had their own modes of transportation and much more freedom. Dates became going out to restaurants or to the movies for fun rather than long discussions with the girl's parents. Prohibition sparked a new excitement in America's want for alcohol, and women dressed as flappers and began openly exploring sexuality. Movies also contributed to this newfound interest, as some say that movies taught men and women how to kiss. As time went on, World War II began, and trying to find a fella for a first date was a tricky task, since so many had been drafted. If lucky enough to catch the eye of a young man, it became necessary for women to quickly obtain some sort of promise that the relationship would continue upon their love's return. When that happened, going steady was solidified with a Letterman jacket or a class ring to show their promise and commitment. First dates often happened after the guy called the girl on the phone and asked her to a movie or school event. When money was spent, the guy was expected to pay and have the girl home at the requested hour of her father. Starting in the 1960s and into the 70s, the boundaries on relationships took a wild new twist. Premarital sex became increasingly mainstream, with birth control, legal abortions, and feminism on the uprise. This new era brought a sense of mystery and ambiguity to the first date. By the 1980s and 1990s, the term hooking up became a socially accepted way for couples to be physically together without the strings attached. TV shows and movies began broadcasting this type of relationship, ultimately desensitizing America to the once scandalous act. Dating was considered a more serious step taken after surpassing the common hookups and first few dates. Today, this hookup culture still very much exists. However, technology has advanced and allowed Americans to meet even before meeting in person. Online dating websites such as Zoosk and Match.com allow people to create profiles and have the option to go on dates with those also on the site. Social media offers ways to see other photos and their likes and dislikes before the first true encounter. Girls are encouraged to be the aggressor in the relationship and even ask the male out on the first date. Today, the LGBTQ community has been widely more accepted, and marital rights have been granted to those who once felt the need to remain in secrecy. Whether it is an arranged meeting, a movie, or an online Skype date, the overall goal of a first date has remained the same. The method of attaining love and marriage has changed in history and will continue to do so as the world progresses and evolves its idea and understanding of love.